There's someone who follows your every move, someone who sees your victories, feels your changes, and even notices the details that you ignore. This person doesn't like or comment, but they are always there. They browse your profile, read your posts, and watch your growth. Silently, without revealing themselves, their interest is growing. They are waiting for a moment. A sign. Maybe they're afraid of being noticed, or maybe they are gaining the courage to step forward. And you? Have you felt this presence? Have you noticed that discreet view, that name that always appears but never approaches? Think carefully. This could be someone from the past who has never forgotten you, or someone new who doesn't yet know how to get closer. But one thing is certain. This person is about to step out of the shadows. And when that happens, everything could change. This person is closer than you think. They know when you've changed the way you speak, when something has affected you, and when you're trying hard to look good. They notice when you pull away, when you disappear for a while, and when you come back different. And believe me, they can feel when you are about to follow a path where they might or might not be included. But why doesn't this person make a move? Why do they just observe? Because they fear your reaction. What would happen if you discovered it? If suddenly they found the courage to say everything they've held back, would you distance yourself? Or would you finally see something you've never noticed before? The signs are everywhere. Glances that meet and linger a second longer. That name that's always there, but never invasive. A lost like. A story viewed just a bit too quickly. This is not a coincidence. This person has thought about sending you a message many times. They've started typing, deleted it. They've written without hitting send. They've kept to themselves everything that could have changed the course of this story. And now, it's just waiting for a sign. Something that will make all of this stop being a secret. But can you figure out who it is? Have you ever stopped to think about the people who silently orbit your life? Those who never completely leave but also never get too close? Maybe it's someone who has had you and lost you, yet never stopped watching from afar. Or maybe it's someone new who fears they'll just be another name on your list. This person wants to tell you something, yet for some reason they haven't been able to. And the reason might be you, whether it's the fear that you don't feel the same way, or because they can see that you're still tied to something from your past, or simply because they believe it's not the right moment. But how long will this last? You're close to a revelation. Don't think this will remain like this forever. Silence has its limits. Secrets have an expiration date. And this person is getting close to that limit. An unexpected message could show up at any moment. A reunion could happen when you least expect it. Or something might simply change within you, and suddenly, everything makes sense. The question is, are you ready for it? Because when it happens, there's no turning back. This isn't a theory. It's not a trick of your mind. It's real. There's someone who's been quietly following you, analyzing every move you make without you realizing it. And this hidden presence is about to reveal itself. You feel it. Deep down, an intuition tells you that something is coming. Perhaps a specific name has popped into your mind just now. Maybe you've already noticed the little signs, but you never wanted to pay them much attention. But the time has come, because this person won't be able to hide anymore. The moment of truth is coming. If you knew exactly who it was, what would you do? How would you react upon discovering that someone has always been there, watching, waiting, without ever gathering the courage to step forward? This person is not just curious, they care, they feel something, but for some reason, they prefer to stay in the shadows, watching your life unfold without interfering. And the scariest part, they've thought about acting several times, but something held them back. Fear of your response, of possible rejection, of realizing that your life went on without them. But this is about to change. If you doubt it, pay attention in the coming days. An unexpected name might pop up in your notifications. A message that wasn't sent may finally be written. A reconnection could happen out of the blue. None of this will be a coincidence. You are being tested. Fate has strange ways of connecting us to people. Sometimes we need time apart to see what has always been in front of us. Other times, something drastic needs to happen to open our eyes. And this person? They are waiting for the right moment. But that moment is no longer distant. A decision is about to be made. The barrier of silence will be broken, and when it happens, there will be no turning back. And now, are you ready? If it happens today, do you know how you would react? Because when this person finally decides to reveal themselves, you need to be ready to handle it. And deep down, you already feel that the time is coming. Will you ignore it or confront this truth? The wait is coming to an end. This silent game, this distant observation, it all has a deadline. And you are about to cross that invisible line that separates the unknown from the inevitable. The question remains, are you prepared for this? Because when this person finally takes a step forward, when the unspoken words are written or said, the impact will be significant. It could be a name you didn't expect, someone you thought you had left behind, or someone who has always been nearby but never had the courage to cross the boundary of anonymity. But now that's over. The time for silence is running out. And what comes after that could completely change your perspective on everything. Signs you can't ignore. If you're reading this, you probably have a name in mind. Someone who's always been there but has never really revealed themselves. What if I told you that in recent days they've dropped clearer hints than before, frequent and quick views on your stories? That name that always shows up on your posts but never interacts directly. A random like on an old photo. Someone mentioning this person out of the blue with no explanation. This isn't a coincidence. The universe has curious ways of preparing us for the inevitable. Small details that may seem irrelevant now, but when you look back will make perfect sense. This person is rehearsing a move, and when that moment arrives, it won't be subtle, it will be a revelation. The fear holding this person back. If this person has thought about acting so many times, why haven't they done it yet? Because there's fear. Fear of being ignored. Fear of finding you different. Fear of realizing there's no more room for them in your life. But doubt is weighing heavier than fear. They need to know, they need to understand if there's still something there or if it's too late. And the truth? There's no way to avoid it any longer. The moment is approaching. You feel it. They feel it. And when it happens, what will you do? You're in control of this story. If this person shows up today with everything they've held back for so long, what will your reaction be? Because one thing is certain, someone is about to step out of the shadows. And when that happens, your life will never be the same. You can feel it in the air. Something is different. This person, who has remained in the shadows for so long, is about to reveal themselves. And it won't be in a subtle way. Not this time. Maybe an unexpected message, direct and to the point. Maybe a casual encounter that deep down won't be so casual after all. Maybe a gesture that makes clear what has always been hidden. But one thing is certain. This is closer than you think. And when that moment arrives, you will need to choose. Will you ignore it and carry on as if nothing has happened? Or will you face this truth and allow your life to change once and for all? Fate may place this person right in front of you. But the final decision will always be yours. Something is about to happen. Don't underestimate the signs. They are everywhere. The frequency with which this name appears. The feeling that someone is watching you yet never gets close. That intuition that makes you feel something big is about to happen. This is not imagination. The silence of this person is about to be broken. And when that happens, nothing will be the same again. Are you ready for this truth? Because it is already coming your way. You can no longer avoid it. This moment is no longer a distant possibility. It has already begun. The change that seemed so subtle is now becoming impossible to ignore. The game of silence is coming to an end. You might even pretend you don't see it. You can try to divert your attention, ignore the signs, convince yourself it's just a coincidence. But something inside you knows. This person is getting closer. What was once only silent observation is now about to become a real action. And when that happens, there will be no room for doubts. What will you do? If this name appears on your screen right now, if that message that never came is finally sent, if this person decides that today is the day to step out of the shadows, how will you react? Will you pretend nothing has changed? Or will you accept that this revelation has a purpose? Because now it's no longer about assumptions. It's real. And this person is about to reveal themselves. The question remains, what does this mean for you? There is no going back. The moment is closer than ever. Moment is closer. And when it happens, you won't have the option to pretend you didn't see, didn't notice, or didn't feel. This person is going to act. And the impact of this will be significant. It could be an unexpected twist. It could be something you've been anticipating but have been avoiding facing. It could be the beginning of something completely new. But one thing is certain. Your life won't be the same after this. You've been feeling this presence for a while now. A name resurfaces, a gaze lingers, a different energy surrounds you. This is no coincidence. It's a cycle that's about to close or to open in a way you never imagined. The final choice is yours when this person finally speaks, when this wall of silence is broken, when the truth is right in front of you with no space for doubt. What will you do? You can retreat, you can try to ignore it, you can pretend nothing happened. Or you can accept that certain things don't happen by chance. Destiny has brought you here for a reason, and now you need to decide. Will you move forward as if nothing has changed, or will you face this truth that has surrounded you for so long? Because now, there's no turning back. You feel it. The change has already begun. This person is getting closer and closer, and it doesn't matter if you try to ignore it, if you pretend not to notice. The universe has already given the signs, and now everything is converging to this inevitable moment. And when it happens, it will affect you. It could be a simple message, but loaded with meaning. It could be an unexpected reunion, one that has always been destined to happen deep down. It could be an unexpected action that finally reveals everything that has been kept hidden for so long. What matters is that this will happen. What does this mean for you? There's no point in trying to run away. You already know that this meeting, this revelation, will change something within you. Maybe it brings answers to questions you never had the courage to ask. Maybe it forces you to confront something you tried to forget. Maybe it awakens feelings you thought were buried long ago. But one way or another, nothing will be the same after this. You need to choose now. That moment is approaching, and when it arrives, you will have to decide. Will you embrace this change and discover where it can take you? Or will you close your eyes and let slip away something that may never return? The decision is in your hands, but the time for silence is over. Destiny is calling. The silence has been broken. The waiting is over. Now it's real. The person who has been watching you, who has been by your side from a distance, who hesitated for so long, is ready to act. And you can feel it. Your heart races inexplicably. Your mind drifts to that name, that face, that presence that has always been there, even when you pretended not to notice. You knew this would happen. Sooner or later, destiny always finds a way to align paths that still have unfinished business. And now, there are no more doubts. The moment has come. You need to make a decision. This revelation could change everything. It could be the closing of a cycle that needs to end. Or it could be the beginning of something new, unexpected, intense. But to ignore it, to pretend you didn't see, that will no longer be an option. This person will make their presence known. And when they do, what will you do? Will you accept that certain connections are stronger than time? Or will you turn your back on something that may never return? The time to hide is over. Now it's your turn to decide what happens from here. Now there's no more avoiding it. What was hidden has been revealed. What was once a mystery is now in front of you, and the choice is in your hands. That person who had been watching you, who quietly accompanied you, has finally decided to take action. There are no more assumptions, no more uncertainties. And now, what will you do with this truth? Ignore it? Pretend nothing happened? Or face this change head-on, accept that certain connections never truly break? The past and the future are meeting. It doesn't matter if this person was part of your story before, or if they have always been there on the sidelines of your life, waiting for the right moment. What matters is that they are here now, and that changes everything. Your paths crossed for a reason. If destiny insisted this much, if so many signs brought you here, it's not without purpose. But the next step, that depends on you. What do you choose? The time for silence is over. Doubt has been replaced by reality. And now you have to decide. Will you open that door and discover what lies on the other side? Or will you close it for good, without looking back? This is the last chance. The tables have turned. The choice is in your hands. Now it's up to you. What will you do with this revelation? The silence is over and the choice lies before you. Comment below. Have you ever felt that invisible presence? Subscribe to the channel, give it a thumbs up, and share this video. Someone needs to hear this message today.